Hi, I'm Kerri.
I'm Lana.
And we're having a 5-minute chat, starting from now. And today we're talking about a blogger, mummy blogger, though we don't like that term, who was accused recently of harming her child for attention. Nothing's been proven. The police have charged her, and obviously everybody's awaiting.
And they've set bail. She's appearing in court in early December.
Yeah. But we both were struck by the reactions of people to the story, and it's something that I've noticed in the past as well, which is that when a mother is accused of harming her children, or when a mother is accused of killing her child, the general reaction seems to be that the person has to be mentally ill. There is pity for the person. Whereas when a man is accused of harming or murdering his child, then he's labelled as evil.
And I think we're not specifically going to speak about this blogger because we don't know the details and, that. But I think that what we both found, we both posted something about it individually on our Facebook pages, was that there was this thing, please consider the mother, and absolutely we consider the mother, but I consider the child too. And I wonder in times where men have been accused of something, where we have all piled on to say, yes, he did this, or it was terrible, or, he's so violent, or you would never expect it of him, but nobody said, please give a moment to think about how the father's feeling, or what's gone through, or maybe he's suffered some terrible breakdown because his wife was ill, or the children were sick, or whatever. Whereas this woman, we don't want to believe that a mother can harm the child. Also, there are a lot of people in the community who know her, and nobody wants to believe something bad about somebody that they know.
But, I noticed, when Luke Batty was so tragically killed by his father in the presence of his mother, and it was quite astonishing that there was never any question that his father was ill and abusive, but there was a lot of anger directed at his father, but also anger directed at his mother, Rosie Batty, for allowing her child to be in her father's presence. So even in a case where the father, clearly was the one who hurt the child, it's still then anger directed at the mother for not protecting him from the father. And yet if there's the opposite situation, whereas the mother actually is the one who hurts the child, then people feel sorry for her. And I just find it so interesting, and I'm not arguing that we shouldn't feel sorry for men, and I'm certainly not arguing that we should label people as evil, but I think that there is a very big difference between mental illness and evil, and I think it does mentally ill people a great disservice to label anybody who commits an act of evil as mentally ill, because
most mentally ill people don't
hurt other people.
There are lots of parents who have mentally ill children. Lots of mentally ill parents who have children and they don't harm their children.
No.
They haven't been accused of harming their children in any way. The other thing that I think came up was, how with this case, that she was perhaps driven to this because of the stress placed on her
by being a carer of a child who actually did have a genetic illness. And I found that particularly, I think, repugnant and hurtful, because my children are healthy, but I grew up in a household where I had a very ill sibling, and I know so many people who care for ill children, and the idea that stress could turn you from a normal loving parent into somebody who would hurt your children, the stress of caring for a disabled or a sick child, I think is quite deeply offensive to parents of sick children. Yep. And I think I don't know where the line is, but I think we need to be careful of where we label mental illness and where we are prepared to accept that some people are
just evil. And also, obviously there's this thing, when you look after children and they're stressed, nobody's denying that looking after an ill child is completely stressful, and all credit to parents who do it, and there are lots of people who do it. And one can almost understand, one day in intense frustration, lashing out or doing something that you shouldn't and regretting it for your whole life, but actually planning to do something and implementing and keep on doing it over time isn't something that's brought on by stress in my, in my humble opinion, because I've seen a lot of stressed parents.
But I guess it's an interesting question to reflect on as we come to the end of our 5 minutes, is what is your immediate response when you hear of a father who's hurt his child versus
as opposed to a
mother who's hurt her child, and do you immediately label one as evil and one as mentally ill?
Let us know your thoughts.